The Bert Show.
Time to get buzzed on the hot goss from Hollywood with Abby. It's The Bert Show's entertainment buzz.
Cassie is finally, not our Cassie, who was in a relationship with Diddy for 10 years on and off, is finally speaking out about the apology that Diddy put out on Sunday. If you've missed this whole story, Cassie accused Diddy of sexual assault last fall, and amongst other things, and there was this heinous video that got released from CNN from a hotel where Cassie can be seen experiencing very... I'm trying to paint it in a way that's not triggering because we're now talking about domestic violence. So here's your trigger warning. But I mean, Diddy, she like gets in a corner and curls up into a ball, and he just comes at her so aggressively. It's so painful to talk about and think about. And so once that video got released, he put out a video where he couldn't directly address her and apologize to her because of their NDA that they had with their last settlement in the fall. So now we're finally hearing from Cassie via her social media, where she put out a statement to let you all know how she's feeling now, what's going on with her. So she said, "Thank you for all the love and support from my family, friends, strangers, and those I have yet to meet. The outpouring of love has created a place for my younger self to settle and feel safe now. But this is only the beginning. Domestic violence is the issue and broke me down to someone I never thought I would become. With a lot of hard work, I am better today, but I will always be recovering from my past. Thank you to everyone that has taken the time to take this matter seriously. My only ask is that everyone open your heart to believing victims the first time. It takes a lot of heart to tell the truth out of a situation that you were powerless in. I offer my hand to those that are still living in fear. Reach out to your people. Don't cut them off. No one should carry this weight alone. This healing journey is never ending, but this support means everything to me. Thank you. Love always, Cassie."
It always strikes me that it's not a burden, but it's the victims carry such weight because they have their own trauma. But then when you're in a public figure like this too, you have such an opportunity to spread awareness about domestic violence like Cassie is doing. And yet it's reopening old wounds. Like I imagine she was like, this is put to bed. It's done. And to have that video surface and the entire world witness what you went through, I wonder if it's a little bit validating. Like I told you, but at the same time, you're like, I put that to bed. I was done with it. Now I have to relive it. And not only that, I'm going to feel like I have to make a public statement. And so it's this weird dichotomy of like dealing with your own trauma, but at the same time, she's helping so many other victims and hopefully giving them the strength to come forward in their own situations.
Yeah, and I feel like so many of us have that story, especially if you have a platform like this. But I mean, really, we all have platforms in our own lives. I mean, whether or not you're speaking to millions of people, you could still speak to the people in your lives about the struggles that you've gone through. And it's not fair. Like nobody should have to share their horrible experiences to make other people feel seen or to help someone have a better experience if this were to happen to them. But I think taking that responsibility and turning it into something good is like the most you can do from it, right? And I really hope that this has been a validating experience for her, because when you're wronged, and it's not wronged is such a meek word for what happened to her. I mean, when you are treated so vilely, so horribly by someone that you're supposed to feel safe and trust with, and you feel like you can't speak up about it, and you feel, like she said, powerless in this situation, all you want is for someone to look you in the eyes and say, I believe you, and to see the monster that this person has become. So I hope that this has been able to shut the door on that experience for her. Even if it hurts right now, I hope that this is like the final thing for her to be able to actually move on from, not move on, but move past and continue to heal from this horrible situation.
Yeah, because that's something like when you go through a traumatic experience like that, you learn how to cope and you learn how to deal, but that's there are scars on the outside that healed, but there's going to be scars forever on the inside.
Yeah, I mean, there are some wounds that are just going to continuously open up throughout your life, and there are things that are going to trigger you down the line. And this is just one of those big ones, one of those big wound opening moments, but hopefully the Band-Aid's a little bit stronger on this one.
However, I do feel she is now surrounded by people who are giving her the support and love she needs. Like the statement her husband released about how real men don't hit women and standing up against domestic violence. I feel like I'm like, she found somebody who can be that safe space for her. And not just in a capacity of like, we know he's not going to do that to her, but that he understands and it like almost embraces her past and that that's a part of her and will help her to continue to move forward and to deal with what Diddy did.
Yeah, and I hope that also gives a lot of hope to victims who are in those situations and watching her story, because I have a couple of stories on my podcast about domestic violence, and a lot of the reasons that people don't leave, obviously for safety reasons, but sometimes they have been in it so long that they don't feel like there's actually anything out there that's better, and then there's not a better relationship that will actually treat them well. So I hope that this is a great story for people to see and realize there's hope out there. All right, for more stories, head to the Bert Show podcast on your favorite listening platform.
The Bert Show.